Well, after 3 days, I finally made it through The Witcher Blood Origin, Episode 1. Still got 3 to go, unfortunately, of this absolute trash. Nothing, I don't really need anything else to describe it by, because that is just what it is. When people tell you this was written in crayon, they're not telling they are not spreading lies. This must have literally been written in crayon, and they seem to treat the audience like they're the same as they are. Dumb. Basically every scene in this show is, we're going to explain to you everything that's happening. And after a while, it really starts to piss you off. It's just excruciating that they have to keep going over what it's like. Yeah, we've already had this information. Why the fuck do we have other characters explaining it to us again? We already got it. Again, it's one of those ones where they have to explain how they're feeling, what they're motivated by. Oh, thanks. I couldn't figure that out on my own. You know, Lauren Hisrich, how does it feel to know you're not going to be employed by Netflix for much longer? You lost Henry Cavill, all the fans turned against you, and you still pump out shite. I don't see a bright future for you in Hollywood, although, unless Hollywood changes, we're going to continue to get dog shit writers like this that throw this shite together and expect you to just, slurp it up, really. And it's dog shit. It's absolute shite. But not to worry, you see, because we have the first kiss between a man and another man in a TV show. Oh no, in a fantasy oh no, they did that in Game of Thrones 10 years ago. In the Witcher TV series. So we've got that to look forward to. Apparently, I don't know if anybody's seen it, where they put out 10 reasons to watch The Witcher Blood Origins. One of them said, 2 men kiss. Right. We haven't seen that before? Another one was, we've got a deaf woman that uses sign language. That's a reason to watch a show. Not the story's fucking amazing. No, it's, we've got a couple of gay men in it. Right. But, from the trailers, we can already see what this show is. Basically, it's diversity, the show. It's very apparent that's what it is. And it just, again, it's all just forced. Nothing natural about it. It's just, how do we have the most diversitist cast of the diversitist? That's all it is. That's literally all it is. So, should we just get into it? Because it's fucking shite. And I don't want to be sitting here for about an hour talking about this. I've already got about 3.5 pages to go over. So, let's just get in it. But, we've got shit to look forward to. In this series, they've got a deaf woman and a kiss between 2 men. It's very embarrassing that is what people think sells a show, that sells people on a show. But let's jump into this absolute disaster that a bunch of children threw together, thinking everybody's retarded. So they start off with, they've got they're doing the upside down thing on the camera. It's annoying. It's very annoying when you do that. Just have it normal. Don't have it upside down. It's pretentious. Really is pretentious. So don't do that. They did that with the Netflix's Resident Evil series, and that pissed me off as well. So don't do that. You don't need to. So then we get Jaskia. It's all upside down. And then see because the people that write the Witcher TV series, they're edgelords, you see. So what they have Jaskia say is fuck, fuckity, fuckity, fuck. That was a piece of dialogue they wrote in the show. Was it supposed to be funny? I don't know, but they seem to think that's edgy by saying the word fuck. But that was a piece of dialogue. That was some expert dialogue. That was some great dialogue. Fuckity, oh, Jesus Christ. So then it all freezes, and Jaskia meets this. I don't know. She's an elf or something. So she's this woman here. Oh, what was her name? Don't know. Don't care. I don't. She's the narrator. She's the narrator that contradicts what a character says in the show. But we'll get to that soon enough. So she comes in saying, Jaskia, we need you to bring a story back to life and tell it through song. So this is how they're going about connecting it to the main show. Is, oh, Jaskia meets some elven twat, and she tells him to bring a song back to life, to tell this tale of the most diversest cast ever to be on TV. So that's all that is. Oh, fucking hell. Does much go on here? Not really. It's basically tale of the Seven who created the first Witcher. And Jaskia's like, you're telling me the first version of a Witcher was a badass elf. You know, the Witcher that left. That, you know, remember that guy that left because the Witcher show was shite. Apparently that would piss him off. That would piss Geralt off because a badass elf did it first. So yeah, they're basically telling you what it is. Well, what we need a woman to do it first. That's what we need. So that's what that is. Oh, they make it so that they literally have the phrase in here, you are the key to everything. Fucking how more on the nose can you be? So yeah, that's pretty much it. So it's just the story of the Seven, the story of the most diversest Seven. So we get a shitty little intro, looks fucking terrible. And then we meet the Lark or some shit she's called. She's called the Lark or Elia or whatever, you know, who cares. She talks for her nose a lot. It's fucking annoying. Sort that out. You need to sort that out. Don't speak through your nose. But that, you know, you get some parts where it's like, I didn't even understand what the fuck you said. It's lucky that I watch stuff with subtitles on. Otherwise, I wouldn't know. So she's like a musician. This is basically Starbucks in California with a bunch of hippies. That's essentially what the scene is. We get some bad, toxic man. He tries on with this little girl. You know, of course he's a piece of shit. And then our hero, the Lark, throws a bunch of knives in his knees. And then she gets arrested for it. She goes down, sits and sings a song, and then she gets arrested for it. But now we're at Mos Eisley. That's basically what it looks like. I'm not even fucking kidding. I really don't know what they were thinking with these sets. So they have like these are like the royal protect. They have like clans, and they're like the warriors of, you know, the elven whatever. So there's like assassins trying to kill them. The princess, right? That's again, there's royal. They're called royal protectors. They don't quite protect her though. It's very, very strange. So the princess falls off a horse, and then our main character, what's his name? It's fucking Fuel or something like that. Something along those lines. You can tell he didn't have an impact on me because I don't remember his name. So he picks her up on a horse, and then he's her royal protector. So you would think he would protect her, but what he does is he sends her off to fight people on her own. You're the royal protector, and you're doing that, right? So yeah, we got to have a badass moment when she kills a guy. It's just like, no, she's a princess. Fuck it. How many shows do this now, where we send the princess or the queen off to fight fucking the enemy? What are you doing? We had the same thing in Willow. It's like, no, don't send the royal family out to fight the war. Don't do it. But he sends the princess off. He said, just do what I told you. All right, that will save her, won't it? All these people, all these assassins going about that want to kill her. Instead of protecting her, you're going to send her off on her own. So, we're not off to a great start, are we, so far? But yeah, we just need, oh look, she killed a guy. She's so fucking badass. Badass women. Watch out. That's all it was, and it doesn't make any fucking sense. Doesn't make sense. Why would a royal protector send the princess off on her own? They haven't thought about it other than, well, she's a woman, you see. She can do it fine on her. No, she's a princess. Princess. And she has her own protectors. So, yeah, you didn't think that through. You just wanted some bullshit in there that didn't make any sense. That's essentially all this character is I'm fighting against the patriarchy by killing my own brother. That's how she fights. But, you know, there's time for that. There is time for that. I don't think we're far off from it. So he comes in and, you know, he's like, I'm your royal protector, even though I sent you off on your own. And she's like, oh, you know, there's more between us than just that. There's more between us. So he fucks her. The princess that he's supposed to be protecting, he doesn't lock the door or anything. Why would you do that? I don't know why you would do that. Because, of course, it's going to go a bit awry for him, isn't it? So that's all that scene is, pretty much. Yeah, they just bang. So this is his dad, and this is, I don't know, a badass woman. And they're both walking down the hall, and they see that he's not outside the door, standing guard. So they run in there, and he's shagging the princess that he's supposed to be protecting. You should probably have your head chopped off. You know, that's... I don't know. You would at least lock the door, wouldn't you? You would think to lock the door. You wouldn't go, I'm going to bang the princess, even though I'm not supposed to, and get caught and get banished. You know, I'm surprised they didn't just kill him, to be honest. It's like, that's you can't do that. You can't do that. I think everyone knows that. But they did it without locking the door. It just baffles me. It's like, why? You're taking a big risk there, aren't you? So he's gonna be banished and stuff like that. Oh, and also in that scene we get a dialogue where where she says, the princess, she says, "You saved us. You saved me," and then he says, "You saved yourself." You know, against one person, and he sent off the princess to fight on her own when he's a royal protector. Then he banged her, and now he's being banished. You know, it's funny that he just gets banished, because his dad says, what does he say? Where is it? Yeah, he's like, he just says, look, just kill me. Be done with it. And his dad's like, no, you need to suffer, so we're just going to banish you and take your axe off you. Doesn't seem like suffering to me. He's just going to go down to the local whorehouse. So there's no suffering going on there, is there, really? So that's all that is. The princess is... her brother's like, oh, we're going to get you to marry the Parishi whatever. She's not happy with that, you see. She's got to fight against the patriarchy by killing her own brother. And then she actually ends up in a worse position because she's fucking dumb. So, yeah, that's pretty much that. She wanted more of a role to be an advisor. And then he's like, well, I'm going to marry you off to the, you know, basically a political marriage for peace. We're going to do it for peace. She doesn't want peace. It's all about her. And it's funny she even pretends to care about all the people. When it's like the position you're in, you shouldn't be complaining about you got to marry so-and-so, but they always are. Because again, just another show to add to the many, many shows that is just patriarchy. You know, that's all we've got. That's all Lauren Hisrich has got up her sleeve. Just the same thing over and over and over. And you expect it to be interesting. It isn't. It isn't. So move on from it. Grow the fuck up. Grow up. You know, Lauren Hisrich, what, you in your 40s and you're still writing about the patriarchy? Fucking hell. You're better off doing something like Twilight. That's your cup of tea. Any fantasy, anything like that, it's not for you. It's not for you. Just fuck off. So, yeah, we just see that woman, you know, whatever, who cares? So whereabouts are we now? There's just these monoliths. This guy's like a mage, and they're gonna bring monsters into their world. So then she's having a conversation with this girl again, just explaining things about herself. The little girl says, "I have visions and fits. They're all scared of me," and then she's like, "Oh, they're only scared of you because they're jealous of your gifts." It's like, you just met her. You don't know what her problems are. She could have epilepsy. And you were like, oh, well, that's a gift. So then because she beat up that guy the other day, she now gets arrested and thrown in a little pit. And who happens to be there but the guy who got banished for banging the princess? So they're not friends. Their clans are enemies, you see. And yeah, she's the lark. And what else happens? It's such a boring show. It really is a boring show. I watched this part on Sunday. So we're not even to the part I watched on Saturday yet. So yeah, that's like, he gets freed. They have a lot of fight. She steals his pendant, and someone's came to bail him out. But now we're back to the Kingdom of Elves, where we just get really. This is when we start running into problems with just, we fucking get to it. We'll get to it eventually. But essentially, the conversation is the king wants to have a peace treaty to end the 1,000-Year War, but all the what we're told, war-hungry generals are dead against it. They don't want a peace treaty. They're like, no, we're not having fucking peace with these pricks. So they're dead against it. Yeah, I don't want. I'll leave it because we're a bit too early. But we eventually get to something that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It's just baffling. It's one of those things that the more logic you apply to it, the less it makes sense. It just there's no logical way of it making sense. There just isn't. So that's what he wants. He wants to end the 1,000-Year War. So that's a good thing, isn't it? That's a good thing. One of the generals is like, that's preposterous. That'll be the end of us. What, by having peace? How would it again? Just remember all this for later. That they don't want peace because that will be the end of them. So just remember that. Just remember that, and yeah, that's pretty much that scene. So we know about the peace treaty now. And then just in the next scene, this random guy comes up and says, well, I don't know if it's he says his cousin or something like that. Guess it's not his cousin. But yeah, he comes up and tells them, there's going to be a peace treaty. No, we just seen that in the previous scene. You couldn't have possibly travelled here within that time. Within a minute. We were just at the scene where they discussed having a peace treaty, and now already this guy is here saying, oh, we need you back. What? Why? Why do they need him? They just banished him. They clearly don't need him. But now they're like, oh, because there's a peace treaty, we need you to come back. What? Why? Why? They just banished him. Literally just banished him 5 minutes ago. We had the peace treaty, and already you're here saying there's a peace treaty. Yep. So this map, whatever they're using, doesn't make any sense at all. So yeah, it's a really bad show so far, isn't it? Really bad, boring, and slow. Soon enough we get to the plot, and then soon enough it's just we're going to explain the plot over and over and over. So yeah, that's page 1 done. We've made it through page 1. So yeah, he's free. He wants to go and grab himself a whore. He doesn't have any money though. Then he goes to give his pendant, but oh no, she stole my pendant. So then she breaks out of this with ease. There's no guards about. No guards. Don't know where they've gone off to. You'd think there'd be guards for prisoners. But if we had guards there, it would make a harder job for us coming up with a way of how she escapes. So we can't have no guards there. There's just no guards there. She unlocks the gate so easily, slips out, she's gone. And just as she turns up in her house, her sister's there. Right, you would have been sitting there a while if she didn't just free herself, wouldn't you? So her sister's like, we want you to come back. There's going to be a peace treaty. And again, we literally just found out there's going to be a peace treaty. And already there's people here. She sailed here on a boat. You got that? So first of all, when the King of the Elves came up with a plan to offer a peace treaty, already the other clans in different places have already found out. And already there is people getting to where these two are and telling them there's going to be a peace treaty. Fuck me, I know you've only got 4 episodes, but at least try. At least try to make it, like, make sense. But no. So, yeah, that's all that is. I've went over that. I'm just, as you can tell, I'm just trying to blast through it, because we could honestly be here for about an hour, but I've got other things to do. I've got other things to do that are more enjoyable than this fucking show. So, yeah, this girl has like a vision, and she says, you are the key to everything. And then in the next scene, we have her repeat that. It's like, no, we just heard her say it. We don't need you to then repeat it to the mother. We already heard it, but you're repeating it again. She says, oh, she told me this was the key to everything. It's like, yeah, we already know that. You can skip that part. You can skip that part just to her saying, does she have visions regularly? You know, that's all you have to have. But instead, they think you're very stupid, so they have to repeat stuff. We just heard it. Literally just heard it. I can keep up, you know. I can keep up. Especially when the writing's so fucking piss poor. So now, they walk out, and then her sister gets killed. 2 arrows in her backs by assassins. So all the assassins show themselves. Whatever. So we get this epic fight where one person at a time attacks her, rather than see if all 10 of you run at her. She's gonna die. That's all you have to do. Yet you go, nah, we'll do one at a time. You see, we've got honor, even though we're about to assassinate people. So, yeah, it shouldn't really be that hard a fight for her, should it? And then he shows up, and like, you stole my fucking pendant. So, and then she's like, what the fuck are you doing here? Well, he's looking for his pendant. You know, that's what he came for. So, yeah, they realise that these are soldiers from all the different clans. That's funny, because, you know, not very long ago, that all these generals, they were against the, like, peace. So now they're working together, even though they were against having peace with the other clans. Yet all the other clan soldiers are fighting together. Right. So we're already getting close to something that makes no sense whatsoever. So, yeah, they start to realise that that they're, yeah, soldiers of the Three Kingdoms. What do we find out? Yeah, it's like, oh, the armies are finally going against the monarchies. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Yeah, so then, like, she's like, I don't trust you. It's like, yeah, I couldn't tell that. I couldn't tell you were, from the other scene, that you were opposing clans. I couldn't tell that, so it wasn't obvious to me. And then she goes on to say, if you cross me, I'll feed your cock to the dogs. Right. So then she's like, my sister is dead. I'm no longer the Lark. My name is no longer the Lark. It's Elia. And then the narrator says, and then the Lark. They didn't go back and check, did they? They didn't go back and check that their main character just said, she's the Lark no longer. And then the narrator says, And then the lark goes off to the ferry and takes it back to so-and-so. Fucking hell. What a bad show. So there's this stuff. Oh, things are going to be great now and all that. So they're now at the peace treaty signing. All the monarchs are there. All the clans are there. So in the previous scene, they said, oh, they must have wanted all the clans dead, so they wouldn't go back and like stop it from happening or something like that. I think I wrote it down. Yeah, they didn't want the warriors at the treaty, so they went to kill 2 of them and no others. Yeah. So yeah. So now we're in for a bit of the betrayal. So he's just saying, you know, we're now going to end the 1,000-year war with a peace treaty. We're going to come together as one realm. And then, like, people randomly start walking off out the place. No one goes, this is a bit funny. It's a bit suspicious that there's important people. They're getting up while the king is giving his speech and walking out the door. You know, you would start to think there's something happening here. Let's go. Where's everybody going? Because it's not just 1 or 2. It's loads of them. Loads of them are just exiting the building during this whole speech, and no one bats an eyelid. It's like, no, it's very obvious there's something going on here. Something going on. But no one bats an eyelid at it. You all deserve to die. If you're not picking up on that. So then the princess, she kills her. She kills that girl. And then this like big monster, this big CGI shitty monster comes flying down. That's like got 3 heads or some shit like that. And it starts decimating everybody. Kills the king. So the princess just killed her brother. And the show is on her side. The show seems to think that she's justified. And we'll soon get to that once it's uttered. So, yeah, the narrator's like 1,000 years of monarchies, kingdoms, and clans were erased. The peace treaty had allowed this guy to turn the war-hungry mages and generals against their monarchies. So we're going to have to kind of figure this out here. So the reason why they wanted to kill the monarchies was because they didn't want a peace treaty. So what they done is set up a peace treaty between the same people that they would have done, yet they're war hungry. Right, so this doesn't make any sense whatsoever. You know, we'll say it again just in case nobody got it. So the war hungry mages and generals turned against their monarchies because they didn't want a peace treaty. So they went and signed a peace treaty. I thought you didn't want a peace treaty. Now, all of a sudden, you're like, we don't want a peace treaty, so we sign a peace treaty, yet we're war-hungry mages and generals. Fucking hell. You know, gonna have to... That's just baffling. It's so amazing that someone wrote that and thought it made sense. That's I'm gonna have to say that again because I'm just confused. So the war-hungry mages and generals turned against the monarchies because of a peace treaty, only to then sign a peace treaty with the clans that they didn't want to sign peace treaties with. Fucking hell, this is a new low. This is a new low. But she's now the empress. She's now the empress. She killed her own brother. Yet the show seems to think she's actually a victim. She's a murderer. She's a murderer. Killed her own brother. That's even fucking worse. But no, she's a good guy. And then we get this very strange scene. I had to go over it like 4 times because I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Basically, we need the audience to know what we're doing. So I wrote this conversation down because I was just like, fucking hell, this is so bad. So you have this is like our elf warrior and the other elf warrior. And so the conversation goes like this. So she shouts. We don't see them. We just hear them shouting in a storm. Right. Yeah, she says, "This storm's unnatural." And then he says, "We're sailing for safe harbor in Galith." How does that follow? That isn't... She said the storm's unnatural, and you said where we're going. Now, I think you would have probably discussed this before you got on a boat. That would have made more sense. But instead, we need the audience to know where we're going for some, rather than just turn the fuck up there. Just go there. We don't need you to announce exactly where you're going, especially in a way that makes no fucking sense. And then she's like, "That's not even close to Zintreya." And then he's like, "We're no use to our clans at the bottom of the ocean." And that's the scene. We needed that. That couldn't have been cut. There was no way of having that cut. No, because we over at Netflix's The Witcher think our audience are very stupid, and they're also they're stupid. They just think that the audience is exactly like them. So yeah, it's just clunky. Again, like he answers her with something that's not what she said. And it's like, you would have already known exactly where you were going. You wouldn't discuss this whilst you're in a storm. This would have already been discussed. So that just, again, it was a 15-second like scene that didn't need to be in there. Did not need to be in there. So now we've got the Empress, the new Empress of the Golden Empire, and she's looking over at her people. So they talk about a shiny thing to... They're just using her. She's actually... We'll talk about it more. But she's basically just a prop. That's all she is. She's only the Empress in name. She's not actually... She doesn't control anything. Doesn't control anything. Yet she seems to think that she now controls everything. So... Yeah, she goes to like water. So they're basically talking about, a shiny thing for the masses. It's funny how people always fall in line because, people and order and stuff. People prefer order over chaos. So she wants to go down to see her people, and all the guards are like, "Nah, you ain't fucking going nowhere, love." So then she realizes, maybe I shouldn't have killed my own brother for power. So she's in a worse position now than she would have been. She's now controlled by evil people. This fucking stupid idiot. So we're now off the boat. They realise this new flag. They've never seen that. So this is basically the peace treaty, one realm banner. So she, steals off a person so they can go and get some beers. They did say they were going to go and buy some beers for the locals to get information out of them. They don't actually do that. They just sit down, have some beers, and overhear someone telling us exactly what we've just seen. Telling us exactly what we've already seen. So this guy over here is basically, he's calling the new Empress a slag and slut and all that sort of stuff. And then he starts mouthing off at the guards because they've now got different armor on. And it's like, would you really mouth off at them? They're clearly going to do something to you if you do that. And they do. They kill him. They kill him because he couldn't keep his mouth shut. Fucking hell. Whatever. So then he gets all upset because they're calling... the princess that he banged, slut and all that. He gets all angry about that. Even though she just killed his clan. She killed your clan, mate. I don't know what you're angry about. So then we go... So again, this show is all to do with just all the monsters and stuff coming out. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, they're raising these monoliths that it's gonna open up a door, and all the monsters are gonna fall in. So that's what they're up to. Then we get another scene which is we're just explaining everything to you in excruciating detail rather than just showing you. We can't trust you to figure it out on your own. We've got to explain it to you. This doesn't even seem like a conversation between two people. At one point, you know, he's talking about something, then she talks about something completely else, just explaining what we have to do, what has happened, what's going to happen. Just fucking show us. And you don't need this stuff in here when we've already witnessed what has went down. You don't need it. But again, written by people using crayons. That is what it is. So yeah, we're just going over information we've already learned. Great. That's you know, you're using your time well in this show. So then we get more explaining what the bad guys want, because I couldn't figure it out. It's basically, they're going to conquer these other worlds and stuff. That's what they want to do. Right, I couldn't figure that out. Could not figure that out. So her like maid or friend or whatever says, how could you kill your own brother? And she's like, I had no choice. He was right. What was it? What is it? Oh, where the fuck has it gone? But yeah, it's basically again, the show's on her side. Like she done the right thing, because she had no. I must have written this down surely. I'm here. Here we are. She says, I'd no choice. He'd written my life for me. So we're just doing the patriarchy again. Right. Lauren, you need something original. This patriarchy stuff is just boring. It's so boring. But again, just like Willow episode 5, we've got, well, murder's fine if your brother tries to marry you off to someone. Right. She didn't have a choice. He was writing her life for her. So she killed him. And now she's in the same position, but worse. Because they're now controlling her, and in a worse way. You know, you dumb bitch. Dumb bitch. What more can I say? I can't say anything else. But yeah, you even have the narrator that's like, Merwin is now free to write her own story. So even the narrator's on her side. It's like, no, she killed her brother. Fuck her. She killed her brother. She wants to civilize the new worlds and stuff. And this is the guy, I forget his name. What was his name? Don't know. Let's move on. He's the guy that wrote the plans for the monoliths, and now he's in prison, and he's like regretting that he helped them build all these. So then we're back to these two, where their only use to this show so far is to explain the plot. Explain about characters we're about to meet. Because we can't figure it out on our own. Can't just show it. No, we got to tell you in excruciating detail. So what's this all about? It's well, I just wrote in my notes, exposition. Tell us everything, what you feel, what you're doing, why you're doing what you do. So they're going to see I fucking forget her name. Skyen, the last of the ghost tribe. She was her former swordsmaster. But if she sees her again, she'd want to kill her. Because she went and took up music instead. And then walking down this hill, she says, Skyen, the last of the ghost tribe. Ghost tribe are were the finest swordmasters to ever grace the continent. Till you lot wiped them out. So they're not the finest swords on the continent then, are they? You can't possibly say that and then say, oh, but they were wiped out. So they weren't very good then. What you're saying is there's people that were better than them. But there's just more of that. Then they meet some travelers that they didn't see coming, even though They're in just a vast open area. Couldn't see him though. He's like, we mean you no harm. Yeah, so yeah, he says, so that, like, our hero says, why are they raising monoliths outside Zintrea? And that guy just walks off. He just fucking walks off. You know, it's good he didn't say that, because it's like, we already fucking know. We already know. So now they got rid of their horses for some reason, don't know. That's because we needed this dumb scene. So he almost steps over these, it's a pit. It's basically a pit. So he almost stands in it and says, no, I seen that. I seen the other one 30 paces back as well. And then he starts walking backwards for some reason and falls into a pit. Right. Fucking dumb as well. Why's everybody got to be dumb? So, and then she just shows up out of nowhere. It's like, this is a whole open area, yet you can't see anyone coming. Okay, I guess that's how that works. So yeah, now we've got this mage, and he basically wants to be a god. That's because he's low-born. He's a low-born mage. That means he can never rule because people wouldn't accept him. So he asks this thing for more power to be godlike. So he just wants a bunch of power, basically. So then we sit and have a conversation. Because, you know, earlier on we found, because they did more shit. They already explained her whole character before we even met her. They said, oh, she's paranoid because they poisoned her entire tribe. You know, just so boring. I'm so bored of this show already. So yeah, it's just, again, more just explaining everything. She says to our elven hero that, oh, she wants you dead. Why are you here? Like, why did... How could you not figure this out? If she knows that, like, there's assassins after her, why would she come to you, do you think? For what reason? Well, for help. I don't know why you need to explain that, but in this episode so far, this character comes across dumb as fuck. Like everybody else. Everybody else. And then she's like, you can finally reclaim your tribe's sword. And then she's like, we wouldn't even know where to look. Where could it possibly... It's like she just told you. She just told you can reclaim your sword from Zintrea. It's clearly over there. So you saying, oh, I don't know, where could it be now? It's like, well, it's probably obvious. So then that guy says, oh, it's in the palace. I don't know why she needs help with this. I don't know why. I do not know why. So then he goes out, like, he was wounded about a week ago or more, and he's only just now sealing it up. It's probably already infected, isn't it? Probably already infected, so you should be dead, really. I don't know why you waited this long to do it. You could have done that as soon as you got wounded. But you waited all the way till you travelled by boat, by horse, on foot. Yeah, you're dead, mate. You're bloody dead. We better end this quickly, because I'm already tiring myself out talking about this. So yeah, we just get like, oh, you can't trust her. She wants you dead and all that. It's like she'll betray you and turn you in. It's like, well, no, they probably want to kill her as well, don't they? So yeah, they kind of have to trust each other. But she's like adamant, I'm not going. I'm not fucking going. You can go on your own. I ain't going. And then they have a little fight, and then she goes, all right, I'll go. Fucking pointless. Absolutely pointless. It's like you waste all this time with a character saying, nah, I ain't fucking going. To instantly just go, all right, I'll go. Well, you should have just had her want to go in the first place. That's what you should have done. But no, you wasted my fucking time and everybody's time. And your own time, which, you know, then again, you know, the writer's time, don't give a fuck about. So she's going to go with them, and our two heroes then become free, as the narrator says. So we've still got the second episode to bring in other characters. Fuck me. I don't know what you're going to do in 4 episodes, really. Very slow episode. I already looked up who this was written by anyway. I think it's always worth to show. It was written by this guy. Who also wrote... I fucking forget now. He wrote some other bad shit as well, and I'm just like, yeah, I figured. I figured he'd written some shit before. You know, there we go. We made it. We made it to the very end. And I gotta say, I'm fucking glad with that. Did I go over everything? Yeah, I went over everything. I can't believe we still got 3 episodes of this. It's fucking torturous. It's definitely the worst shows I've watched in a while. It's just so boring and dull, and the whole episode was just, we're gonna keep explaining to you what's happening, even though we've shown you, even though we've already told you, so we're just gonna repeat ourselves over and over and over. And after talking about this for almost 50 minutes, I just want to go to bed now. I just want to go to sleep. Because that's how tiring this show is. There's a reason why it took me about 3 days to get through it. Because it's such dog shit. I don't know what more to say. I've just lost brain cells talking about this thing. Where it's just, you know, not much is happening. We're just explaining things. We have a load of stuff that doesn't make any sense. We have motivations that don't make any sense. If people do have motivations, we're going to tell you rather than show you in an interesting way. So, yeah, terrible show. It's not doing well on Rotten Tomatoes. What is it? It's like 6% now. Very embarrassing, Lauren. But then again, you're not going to be there for long anyway. Don't see it happening. Liam Hemsworth, don't bother. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. Don't flush your career down the drain for the Witcher series. Because this shit was just embarrassing. Absolutely childish. Like it was written by children. For children. But what more can I say? At least we've got one thing to look forward to. A kiss between 2 men, because that is new, brave, and stunning, apparently. But you've tired me out, so I'm just going to end there.